Hi friends, Scott Brookins here. Um, what do you do or how do you react when someone tells you to shut up? um, in our travels with our ministry, for 18 years full-time traveling, and then it's been 22 years, altogether at this point. Um, my family and I have been in a lot of unique situations around America, Central and Eastern Europe, and Africa. And so I just wanted to tell you kind of a funny story today, that'll make you hopefully laugh and you might learn something from it, but it's just something that I experienced and I just wanted to share. When I was growing up as a little kid, in our house, my mom and dad, shut up was a cuss word, So if we yelled at our brothers and sisters, and my brother and sister, or to each other, we were always told or taught to say, be quiet. And so it was a lesson I had to be told many times, but I think it's a good one. And I think that should be something that we should be teaching everybody, adults, maybe even more so than kids these days. But many years ago, my family and I were traveling in America, and we were in a small town, and I was doing a Sunday morning service. And so typically in a service, the church would open up with some, announcements and sing a few songs or hymns, and then I'd have the remainder of the service, and I'd do a mixture of music, testimony about my life and how God changed that through Jesus Christ, and then share some stories and messages within those, and a bunch of songs, of course. And so this one morning, the church had introduced me, and the building was an older building, and so the platform, in my memory, was pretty high above the congregation sitting there in their pews. And so I played an opening song, and then I just shared, just kind of a few comments, said hello, some greetings, and then the next song, during that song, and when I performed, I closed my eyes. I wanted to focus on worshiping God through my music. And it was distracting for me to kind of be looking around, the congregation and so forth. And so I closed my eyes, but during this song, I kept hearing some noise, like boom, boom. And I couldn't figure it out. I didn't open my eyes until there was an interlude part in one of my arrangements in the background track. And so I kind of looked out, and I saw a lady get out of her seat, out of the pew, and walk over to the side window of the church. And there were some books on there. It was probably a Bible or a hymnal. And she picked those off the windowsill and threw it on the ground. Boom. And so that's the noise that I had been hearing. And so I finished that song, and I got up to, came up to the microphone. I started to share my testimony of how I came to know Jesus Christ. And I'll share that in another video sometime. But during this, when I'm speaking, I hear, and I didn't know it was the same lady. It turned out to be, because it happened many times, I kept hearing this, shut up, shut up, and usually when you speak, in a crowd, you don't get, I've never gotten that really of a crowd, but I kept hearing as I'm talking, shut up, shut up. And so I'd like, okay. And so I get ready to play another song. I look back because the pastor's sitting on the platform. Most of the time they'd go down and sit in the congregation, but he was sitting there, and I'm kind of looking at him like, are you going to do something about this? And he's just sitting there. And so I played the next song or two, and then I get up to speak again, and I hear the same thing, shut up. And then while that's going on, a gentleman in the front row and another section over, he stands up and turns around and tells this lady to shut up. And so they start arguing back and forth in a way. And the pastor, I turn to look at him again. He's not doing anything. He's just sitting there. And I'm going, okay, this must be normal at this church. I don't know. So I just continue serving God, playing a lot of music, sharing the gospel, sharing some stories from the work around the world. And then finally, during one of the songs, they took this lady out of the church. I saw that they escorted her out. And so we finished. And then after church, we went to dinner with the pastor. I think it was at Pizza Hut or something. And so at that point, him and one of the other people with him, they apologized for what had happened. and they didn't know what to do. That had never happened before in their church, and they were like, I don't know what to do. And so they're apologizing. But what they explained was that in their town there was a mental hospital place, and they would bring some of those patients and residents over to the church on Sunday mornings to be part of the church. And so they explained that, I messed up their routine, because it wasn't the normal church service. And here I was coming in and blasting on a trumpet, and it just wasn't in their routine. And it really upset this woman. And then the gentleman was from the place too, but he was trying to, control everything and help her through the situation. So it was an interesting Sunday morning service, but I pray that I did my best to glorify God through all that. I guess the point of this story is, we come through life with obstacles that we have no idea are going to hit us. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, and something's going to hit us. It could be something funny like this, or turns out to be funny, or it could be something more serious too. But I just want to encourage us to keep doing what we're supposed to be doing and trusting God, and He's going to take care of the situation, whatever that might be, and use you for His purpose at that certain time. And so hope you'd enjoy this story. Go have an amazing day and inspire someone else to do the same. God bless.